Now at 6, a young man set to play football at Ball State is dead. How he was killed and how his community is mourning the loss.
And the pattern that stayed locked in place has nudged a little bit to the east, meaning we have to introduce some rain chances into the forecast. I'll explain.
Plus, runners finally get to participate in this year's Carmel Marathon. How people from across the country feel about the race after it got postponed last month. But we start tonight at 6 with state police investigating a deadly shooting and a deputy firing his gun in the aftermath. This happened in Delaware County. Around midnight, multiple agencies responded to a person shot at Hilo's on North MLK and Brunch Boulevard in Muncie. Police say the 28-year-old man shot later died at the hospital. Police say 2 other men showed up at the hospital with gunshot wounds, a 40-year-old man in serious condition and a 30-year-old man who's said to be stable. So far, no suspects. Now, during the response to the shooting, police say a Delaware County deputy fired his gun at a car. How and why? Still being investigated. No one got hit by that gunfire. Well, tonight we have a sad update. We've learned a 12-year-old boy died in that multi-car crash yesterday on I-65. This shut down the highway for hours. The Jackson County Sheriff says the crash near Seymour involved 4 vehicles, including a semi. The 12-year-old victim was from New Albany. He was in the back seat of one of the cars. 3 other people in the car were airlifted to hospitals. Everyone else involved was not seriously hurt. Police tonight still investigating what caused that crash. Ball State University tonight confirming a man set to play football there this fall has died, and we're learning he was shot in Florida. The university confirmed 18-year-old Gavin Yates Lyons died earlier today. According to police in Tallahassee, Florida, a shooting broke out in a parking garage that you see here around 5 a.m. That's where a large crowd gathered for what investigators call an unsanctioned pop-up party. Officers found 3 people with gunshot wounds, including Yates Lyons. He just graduated from high school the day before. Teachers describe him as someone who always lifted people up.
And really, Gavin's whys, as he would explain it, were twofold. It was to retire his parents. This is hard for me to say without crying. And to prove everyone wrong that said he couldn't do it. So Gavin has a dream to be a D1 football player, and he did it.
Tallahassee police say so far no arrests in that case. It is 6:07. Want to get you updated on the weather tonight. A live look outside. My goodness, we have had back-to-back beautiful days. Really a perfect weekend to round out our month of May.
Yeah.
And it looks like a couple of changes perhaps for tomorrow.
They're very minor.
Okay.
We did have to introduce a minor rain chance for the afternoon tomorrow, and I'll kind of explain why. The pattern that's been locked in with, by the way, very comfortable temperatures, 70s and 80s, in fact, a little bit cooler for some of you. It's all because of this axis of moisture. Now, we've been talking about how this satellite and radar wasn't going to look very different for at least a week. This axis of moisture has been mainly to our south and west, but it's nudged a little bit closer. And because of that, by tomorrow afternoon, we do think that a few shower chances are going to be possible. The next few hours, you will notice a few more clouds in the forecast. We'll continue with that. That's going to keep our temperatures a bit milder for tonight. 60 our expected low. That's certainly much warmer than where we were earlier this morning when it was quite crisp and comfortable. We'll take those upper 50s and low 60s, and we'll only warm them up to around 80 degrees yet again tomorrow, despite the clouds that are in place. And I'll put a few showers in the forecast. Now, coming up, I'm going to walk you through this timeline, what to expect, and when we get back to that very comfortable pattern. It's coming up.
All right, sounds good, Rob. Thanks. See you in a few minutes. Hey, runners from across the country today, they finally raced in the Carmel Marathon. Originally scheduled for April, severe weather postponed the race, but today's weather certainly made up for it. Our Ella Rhodes takes us to the finish line.
Around 4,000 people crossed the finish line in the Carmel Marathon, in the 5K, 10K, half marathon, and marathon. Each earning a well-deserved medal.
I didn't start running until I was 49.
Kaki Jenkins recently got into running after she watched her husband race.
Finally just thought, I'm going to give this a try, and I have fallen in love with this.
Jenkins traveled from Alabama for the race. When it got postponed last month for severe weather, she adjusted her plans to still run in May.
A lot of travel plans had to get rearranged, trying to rebook hotels. Just training for 6 extra weeks is not fun, and just not knowing what the weather is going to be at the end of this month.
Runners use this race to qualify for the Boston Marathon, but not this year with the delay. Robert Jackson chose to run the Carmel Marathon after he finished in Boston.
I came out here and checked the box. At the end of the day, my big goal is in November, so this is a stepping stone. I love it.
The sun shining plus cool morning air, race director Jay Druba says the weather made up for last month's, even last year's, when the weather postponed and eventually canceled the race.
People love this event and they want to continue doing it. They want to keep coming here, and that means a ton.
You got this, marathoners.
Andy Williams planned to run the race last year.
I couldn't believe it when it happened again this year. You know, I felt bad for everybody that was involved in organizing this because I know it certainly wasn't their fault, but I knew that a month and a half later I was going to be in better shape, so I had signed up for the half, decided to switch to full, and then it paid off.
Crossing the finish line and breaking the tape for first place.
You know, set manageable goals, you know, don't bite off more than you can chew.
Winning advice for your next marathon, or if you're not a runner, advice for the marathon of life. In Carmel, Ella Rhodes, 13 News.
Congrats to everybody who competed today. Hey, we have a traffic note for you this week. Crews with DPW are closing the 16th Street Bridge for repairs as early as tomorrow. The city says the project will extend the life of the historic arch bridge by fixing broken concrete. DPW says repairs could take up to 2 years. Now, if the bridge is closed tomorrow, we've got you covered. You can find detours, maps, and more about the project right now on WTHR.com.